All right, Congressman Bozeman. What should be done to reform health care in America? Cal's kind of already out of the barn on that, but...
Well, again, with the current bill, we need to repeal the bill. And if we can't do that, what we can do is we narrow the House together. Hopefully we'll take control of the House next year. We can defund the bill. That's the real power of the House of Representatives, is it has power over the purse. We do need reform. And I think you do that with things like associated health plans. When I go to my barber's got 2 or 3 employees. What that would do is allow him to go into the marketplace with thousands of other barbers and get the same deal that a major corporation gets. Those are the free market things that we need to do. Now, there are some things in the bill that are good. One of them is to allow young people to stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26. That's a good thing. So those are the free...
No.
It is, in the sense that allowing them to stay on their parents, you get rid of millions of people that are unemployed, okay? Not the bill, but you can do that very, very cheaply. Like I said, the current bill I voted against, and is an anathema.
Congressman Bozeman? Sorry.
We'll come back.
That's okay. Well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this question, because all of us know that this bill needs to be repealed. It needs to be repealed immediately, as soon as we can. And that's one of the things I will obligate to when I'm in your next United States Senator. But there's a couple other things that we need to do. We need to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we had 8 years when we were in control, the Republicans, to do something. Did anybody sponsor a bill in the Republican Party to make that happen? Did anybody step up to the plate? Now it's time. Now people are saying, yeah, we need to do something. It's too late. And so now our only alternative is to repeal it. But I want you to think about the leadership of the last 8 years, from 2000 to 2008. The folks that were in charge, and the problem is a lack of leadership, and we need to replace that. We need to get folks in there that would do the right thing, and I intend to do that. Thank you.
Senator Holder.
Thank you. I'm going to say yes, we should repeal the bill, absolutely, and I appreciate some of the efforts that Secure Arkansas and Brunswick and Harshaw are doing to try to put you need to sign that petition. Can y'all hear me okay? To sign the petition to repeal that, we're trying to get Attorney General Dustin McDaniel to actually say, according to the 10th Amendment, we will not take this health care program we have. That needs to happen. We also need to call the state reps, and State Senator Dan Greenberg over here. He also wanted to try to repeal and actually call in special sessions. We don't have to take that. But I want to go a little, competition across state lines is very, very important. We have to have that. And competition is good. But guys, I want to go a little philosophical just with a few seconds here for you. Think about this. Every time the government subsidizes something, what happens? The prices go up. We have to get back more to a market where people have control of their health care, where they have choices, and they be able to have more power in their pocket with the money they have with health care savings plans. Thanks.
Senator Heather.
You know, we got a guy now that's saying he's going to clean up somebody else's mess, and that's really about what we got to do here. But the problem is we should have fixed it before we ever got it. But we've got 6 members of our congressional delegation that never said a word, that I never saw them on television. You know, usually I throw a fit if I don't like something. Jimmy Stewart was pretty good at that a few years ago, and Mr. Smith goes to Washington. In his name, don't we do something about it before it happens? Now, we've done something about that in Arkansas, and that's how most of this stuff's going to get fixed in the state, not by these experts in Washington, D.C. Tort reform in Arkansas, and when that came to the Judiciary Committee in the Arkansas Senate, there was one guy for it. It was this Republican right here, but we passed it in the Arkansas Senate and the Arkansas House. We've done something. We've built a new medical school in northwest Arkansas that's going to serve the whole state. We're providing more nurses in this state. We're going to let people buy insurance across state line. You know, competition will take care of it if you let people compete. I know it works in the stuff that I'm in. When my competitor down the street beats my price, I'm going to match it or I'm going to work harder. And we've got to get that back to that philosophy and all this stuff. Have you put one of those? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I think it's Jim. Did they get their question? That was a response.
That was a response. All right.
I'll be
This
glad.
is, this, that's right, this is for Senator Holt. Should corporate lobbyists be allowed to contribute to a campaign? And if there is such a thing as full disclosure, why would there be a limit on contributions?
Say that again, if there is such a thing. as-
Should corporate lobbyists be allowed to contribute to a campaign? And if there is such a thing as full disclosure, why should there be a limit on contributions?
Good question. Actually, I agree. If there's
I didn't
such-
write these.
No, that's fine. If there is such a thing as full disclosure, why should there be a limit? I kind of like that idea. I know we have a problem with, and guys, this is so systemic. It goes all the way back to the founders. I don't think the founders ever in their wildest dreams had the idea in their minds that we would have lobbyists that have so much control. Guys, I've been at the state capitol. I've seen how at the state capitol, a lobbyist at that time when I was there in 2006 could buy me a meal for $40, and it was non-reported. He could buy me lunch. That was breakfast, lunch for $40, supper for $40. He just spent $120 for me eating, and it's not reported. Guys, the lobbyist problem, we had one at the state capitol that was actually lobbying for the energy deregulation bill at the same time while he was trying to push it. There has to be something done to where we put a stop to these lobbyists controlling the legislative process, and where they do it is at the Senate. And how do we do that? I'm not actually sure, but I think it has to be involved more, once again, the people getting involved with their government, and there needs to be full disclosure, complete disclosure online. And we also, I'm out of time.
Senator Henry.
Well, I haven't had to worry much about that in this campaign so far, but I do have an opinion about corporation lobbyists and so forth. One of the things that's strange about me, among many other things, is I've never asked anybody for any money for my campaign. Now, I'll accept contributions, and what they tell me is, oh, these big guys will send you the money, $9,600 in this campaign. Just look at the reports. They'll give you the money if you ask them for it. I see a problem with that, frankly. If you want to contribute to if I pass an offering plate in church, I have a little bit of deal with that. Every time you sit down in a pew, somebody put a plate in front of you. We put ours out at the front door, and if you want to give, you can give. If you don't want to give, you don't have to give. We say it this way, you can give without loving, but brother, you can't love without giving. And we need to get involved in our politics here. And it doesn't take millions of dollars to win this race. It just takes the people in Arkansas to stand up and speak up, and then we'll do something about this money foolishness. There's way too much of it in this deal, and we need to fix it.
All right. Mr. Cole?
Jim, would you repeat that question? I was so engrossed in Senator Henry's.
I would be happy to if I
I'm
could
sorry.
find it. However, I've already put it in a file. The question was, you got it?
Well, I'll do something here. Well, I think part of the problem here, folks, we've got competing values that we're going to have to figure out how to handle. One of them is, and I'm a fierce defender of the First Amendment, folks. You start abridging the First Amendment or the Second Amendment or any of those amendments, I'm going to fight. Okay? And so we're going to start there. But we have a different problem in our culture in that lobbyists have become the fourth branch of government. And what we're doing now is we're sending our taxes to Washington. They're granting earmarks to special interests who take the money and send it back to the guys that we sent to Washington. And that's the cycle and the circle. So one of the ways we break this is by stopping this whole earmark process so legislators cannot give money to the special interests who just use the money to give to them.